Well, if they don't, I'll get into it anyways, but otherwise I'll wait for a couple people to show and then I'll get into it. But anyways, I wanted to play this because they recently confirmed that they're going to be doing a remake, I guess, of this series. I don't know if they're doing a remake of this original game, and it's just going to be an enhancement in some way as far as the gameplay and whatnot, or what the situation is they're just going to go completely different storyline altogether. But it's a fun little game. It hasn't aged the best, but
Hello,
it was good
friends.
for its time.
Have you
So
ever
we'll have some fun
gazed
with
up
it.
into the night sky and wondered at the possibility of life on other planets? What marvelous beings might exist out there, hands extended in friendship, awaiting the moment when we humans take our first tentative steps into space? What tales will be told of that glorious day when we are first contacted by our brothers from beyond the stars?
Five. All systems go, General. 4,
Come on, baby, show us what you got.
3,
What the hell?
2,
What in the blue blazes is that?
1.
No, wait! Stop the countdown!
Too late. Can't stop the countdown when it's already launching. Stop the countdown. Ignorant fool.
Incompetent fool. I should never have sent you.
What's shaking, Pox? You look a little, what's the word? Constipated.
Let's just say I hope you turn out to be less of an evolutionary dead end than your predecessor.
You lost me.
Shall I tell you a secret? Few of our people know this, but the DNA patterns in our cloning banks are becoming more and more degraded with each new clone.
That's bad, right?
Only if we want to retain our immortality through cloning. Of course it's bad! I sent Crypto-136 in search of a planet we visited many eons ago. A planet seeded with pure Furon DNA. But I lost contact.
Let me get this straight. You sent me, him, Crypto-136, to a hostile planet, and he's disappeared. Maybe captured, maybe even being tortured as we speak.
Well, I wouldn't jump to any conclusion.
I bet you wouldn't. Let me tell you something, Pox. You're a smart cookie. But there's a time for thought, and there's a time for action. And this is one of those times.
Which?
The second one.
Perhaps you're right,
I
137.
didn't press
Of
anything.
course I'm
That
right.
was
You
weird.
kidding me? A cryptosporidium
Maybe it was just
captured
my
by a
TV.
bunch of monkeys? We gotta go in. We gotta crack some craniums. We gotta rescue me. Him. He's gotta rescue me. I gotta. Brains, man. When do I get to blow things up?
Patience, Crypto, patience. I take your point. Prepare the mothership.
That's what I'm
mothership.
talking about. So, what's the name of this crummy planet?
Our destination. The planet Earth.
Would the aliens call Earth Earth, though? That seems kind of weird. I mean, yeah, I know it's a video game. They're trying to reference us, of course. They could have used another term like Gaia or Terra or something like that, or even come up with their own term. And then people obviously figure it out based on landmarks and whatnot in the game. Let's go ahead and turn down a little bit of the game audio. because that apparently was a problem with the last stream too. And we'll do that. Save game. Why not? Okay, so anyways, the whole Google Stadia thing, obviously, you know, there was a lot of YouTube videos being made about it, of course, which that completely makes sense considering a lot of people can't resist but talk about things like that.
In my spare time, I've been developing some truly impressive weapon and ability upgrades. A saucer upgrade, something for your gun, or a brain implant?
Yeah, I don't have anything yet. Okay. That's something we can do later. Let's go to the hangar. We'll do our first little invasion here. Okay. So this whole Google Stadia thing, you know, they made their announcement. They showed off some games that they're going to have. They talked pricing points and availability. So they're doing that whole Founders Kit, which is $129. It comes with the Chromecast Ultra, the game controller, and 3 months of the Pro subscription service for yourself plus a friend. I think that's all it comes with, I'm pretty sure. It's like $129. Which is about roughly half the price of, like, say, a Xbox One S All Digital Edition. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So you have the subscription service, the Google Stadia Pro or whatever it's called. It's $10 a month. Same price as Xbox Game Pass per month. Cheaper than PlayStation Now, which is another streaming service.
Crypto here.
And it's going to come with games, presumably,
You may look
in that
by
vein.
physically manipulating the right
You know,
analog
modern
stick.
games that you can
move
play
about the area using the left
through that
analog
streaming
stick.
service. And for some reason, the controls feel a little delayed on this game, which is kind of weird because I'm not streaming. I'm playing it. I am streaming, but what I mean is I'm not playing it locally on my PS4. So yeah, that's another thing. Like a lot of people complain about the Google Stadia. Oh, we're gonna get game control latency. That happens even on locally played games in some cases, as I'm experiencing right now. But anyways, just to kind of point out that, you know, you got that subscription service, which is $10 a month. A lot of these YouTubers are going around and saying that you have to get that in order to use the service. Even though, like, anybody with a brain in their heads would know that that's not the case. Like, anybody that actually watched that live stream, which it wasn't like a hugely long live stream, it was about 28 minutes or so, they would have got the hint. As far as that Cortex scan, I forgot what button it was even supposed to be. Okay, it's L1. The scan, okay.
Moo. Primitive, yet profound. Scan another one.
Apparently they think that these are the smart enemies, the humans.
I think I'm going to be violently ill. Attention, Earth creature. This planet is now part of the Furon Empire. Your benevolent masters welcome you. At this time, we wish to abduct you for the purpose of scientific research. The procedure will be protracted and invasive. Do you have any objections? Earth creature, I am addressing you. Respond or be vaporized. I don't care how many stomachs
I like the humor of this game. It's pretty
I
good.
don't have time for this.
Alright. So you get a little bit of physics action.
Furons have evolved the astounding power of psychokinesis. Target an object or creature, then hold the L1 button. Hold L1 button, then hurl the bovines by double tapping triangle button.
Yep, I got it. I'm out of the ability. Toss him in, the lake there. Perfect. Got all those pesky cows defeated now.
Martha, you didn't tell me we was having barbecue for dinner. Wait a minute, that ain't steak. That's holy mother. Martha, give me the shotgun.
Attention, you do in fact have weapons. Just hold the R1 button. Try it now. Give that puny farmer a taste of the old Zap-O-Matic.
Got him.
Harold, come on back. You gotta see this. They got a talking horse on the TV. I ain't never seen nothing like. Ah! Little green spaceman!
I am not green.
Stand back, little fella. Get close to me. This one's... What's this? Communist?
He just called me a communist. Fantastic. He nailed that. Is there another one around there? Thinking that radar is supposed to tell me where the next guy is. I'm an alien, not a commie. Get it right.
Evening, Ms. Turnip Seed. We got a call from Farmer Dixon over the other side of the state road. Said he heard some pretty strange noises coming from over this way.
What is that? A new silo?
Crypto! That human law enforcement officer is attempting an unauthorized entry of your spacecraft. If those pea-brains were to get their hands on your quantum deconstructor, they could rip a hole in the space-time continuum.
We can't be having that.
Furonity. Vaporize them, Crypto!
It's the blow!
Crypto, my radar shows more humans approaching. Hurry to the saucer!
Gotta get that DNA, you know? Gotta get them human brains. Oh, has he got no brains? Okay. What about this one here? You got some brains? There we go. That works for me. Yes. So let's harvest all their DNA and then we'll get the hell out of here. So yeah, back to the pricing, of course. You know, $10 a month for an optional subscription service. And you can buy that Founders thing for $129 if you really want to, although you can just be patient and wait. Because you can use a Chrome browser. You can use a Chromecast you already have, I guess. Although I think with the Chromecast you might have to buy their controller, which is like $69 if you want to do that.
Use your left analog stick to propel the saucer forwards and backwards. And to strafe left and right. To turn the saucer, use the right analog stick.
Okay, makes simple sense. And then use our death ray, of course. Gotta destroy the human buildings. Alright. So far, so good. So anyways, yeah, so that's, you know, pretty standard stuff as far as that. And then you can buy games a la carte if you don't want to do any of the subscription stuff and you just want to buy a game to play on there. But according to the logic of some of these people, that's too expensive. Like, oh, you're charging us the exact same as everybody else is for the games, but you're not requiring us to buy equipment to use the service? That's too expensive. That is way too expensive, you know, because funny enough, that was kind of the same logic that kind of went against online, which online was a bit of a different case. I can see why some people might be sour over the whole online thing because you know most people put money into that and they end up not getting their games
The
anymore
human
once that service
military-industrial
went
complex.
down. You know?
We can't allow them
And
to
that
alert their
sucks.
leaders to our
But
presence.
it is a little bit different
Exterminate
case
them.
because
Now!
OnLive and Google are a little bit different in terms of the size of the companies. I mean, Google is a company that's worth basically 10 digits. You know, they're basically a $1 trillion company, or just about. OnLive was a little rinky-dink startup that had maybe some millions in venture capital funds.
There are more to the north in the bushes.
Completely different as far as that, you know. Plus the infrastructure, Google has insane infrastructure compared to
Wipe
most
them out once and for
online
all.
companies. So there's that, you know, because obviously having good infrastructure can help to reduce costs overall, you know, as far as something like that, because they're actually managing the servers, they're not renting them out from other people and that kind of stuff. So yeah, probably be best if I dodged the tank bullets, but whatever. You know, it's just really weird. Like, when it comes to anybody that comes in to challenge the Big Four, which I consider the Big Four Sony, Microsoft,
Did you see what I
Nintendo,
saw?
and Valve.
You bet your
Anybody
sweet
that
ass I
comes in
did.
to challenge those,
What did you say?
everybody
Little green man
that
in a flying
claims
saucer wiping
for-
out the best
that
infantry
they
unit
are
in the
okay
U.S.
with
Army.
there being gaming competition and all this stuff, they flip their shit and they prove that they're actually against competition. They are against innovation. They are against new competitors on the marketplace. And that tends to be the case up until the point where... what is up, Grim Monolith? Yes, I am live. That tends to be the case whenever it comes to, like, any of these competitors. I'm trying to remember how I get DNA off of these points here. Or do I have to land? Maybe I do have to land. So, actually, I don't even remember how to land. Let's just go around and destroy some stuff. That'll make things easy. Yeah, we'll just land. That landing spot right here. Okay. You know, anytime somebody comes in to challenge the Big Four, people throw their shit about it. You know, Epic Game Store, of course, we've seen that. And the other funny thing is, people are talking bad about Epic Game Store whenever Satisfactory, the people that made Satisfactory, I think it's, are we at the end times of YouTube? Are we talking about my channel specifically or in general? Because I'm not really sure what you're referring to there. Press R2 to cycle to the anal probe, and then press R1 to fire the anal probe, giving a target a mild probe. Is it causing them to grab their buttocks and run for the hills, of course. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not doing very good at this game right now. Running out of stuff. Come on. Anal probe him. Why is it not working? Okay, there we go. It finally worked.
Who was it? Was it you? Did you little freak?
Oh, yeah, the whole adpocalypse thing. I don't really pay that much attention to it. I really don't think that that's that big of a deal. Shank hit pieces. You said Cent, but I'm sure you're talking about Chank hit pieces on YouTube. Wait, what do you mean? C-E-N-T. I'm not really sure if you're talking about... Okay, CNET. Oh, okay, yeah. Nah, it's been kind of an ongoing theme. It seems like about once a year, there's like a little bit of a duel against... between YouTube and, you know, old school media. That's nothing new. I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about it. It'll sort itself out eventually. Okay. Zap-O-Matic's most effective anyways. The anal probe's good for some cases, though. No, I wouldn't worry too much about that, Grim. Like I said, YouTube, their job is to make money off advertisements, so they're going to try to please advertisers. So when it comes to these little things, they're going to have a temporary crackdown on things, but then it'll subside. You know, once the advertisers are appeased, they'll kind of, you know, take it easy for a while after that. Like I said, I wouldn't worry too much about it, because it's never been a permanent problem. And, you know, if YouTube really wanted to fully address the issue, there is ways to do that. Maybe they could actually punish some of the bigger channels that are constantly getting their site in trouble. You know, like actual legitimate punishment as opposed to this, oh, we're just going to do these half-assed measures that only punish small channels that barely get any advertising revenue anyways. You know, like if they wanted to make serious efforts like that to kind of keep them on their toes, then we might see some these adpocalypse kind of things not happen so much. You know, but that's kind of part of the problem. YouTube does not punish these channels that get into this trouble with the advertisers enough. You know, and of course advertisers in general, they're just a little too wishy-washy with this stuff as well, you know, like they try to treat it exactly like traditional TV, and it's not exactly like that, you know, it's a different platform altogether. But really the best thing for people to do if they like enjoy a favorite content creator is just to donate to them personally or utilize services like the YouTube Premium and, you know, Twitch Prime subscriptions and that kind of stuff, you know, to kind of support them that way. That's really their best bet if they want them to make money and still make content. You know, and then those channels just need to make sure not to say anything too obviously controversial, like with the whole Steven Crowder thing. It got, what if that content creator is myself? Oh. Yeah, well, you can only do so much, right? That's good. Rosie's guys are pretty good. Yeah, I like it in the spaceship, it's pretty nice. But we will need to find another spot to, I hate the fact that my PlayStation 4, for some reason, anytime I have HDR enabled on my TV, it will shit the bed sometimes and just outright cause my TV to shut off. It's only the PS4, because it's not a problem on the Xbox One. It doesn't do that at all. It's only the PS4 Pro, and it's only been since I got this new Samsung TV. Well, it's not new anymore. I guess I had a year or so. A year and a half now. So... But yeah, like the whole Steven Crowder thing, it's kind of a complicated thing because for the most part he was fine with the criticisms of that guy, but he did kind of step out of line a little bit, you know, because it wasn't just a criticism over the guy as far as the news stories he had, but it was a criticism over like his lifestyle too, because he would constantly make fun of the guy for being gay and that kind of stuff. That's where the problem was. You know, everybody's saying, oh, well, YouTube's trying to censor him for speaking out against this guy and, you know, having a different philosophy, different viewpoint, but it wasn't because of that. It was because of that and the fact that that stuff was against YouTube's policies, you know. But like I said, at the end of the day, Steven Crowder wasn't the one getting punished. It was all the small channels that might have an occasional homophobic slur or something like that. And I mean like a really occasional, not something where they're making videos like every week with that stuff like Steven Crowder did. So, yeah. So it's just, you know, it is what it is. I call it out for what it is. It's just hypocrisy on everybody's sides. And the left, of course, is guilty of it too, because a lot of them are saying, well, YouTube's not doing enough, and that's not really the case either. YouTube is doing what they feel is necessary. You know, they are trying to appease the advertisers. The advertisers don't want to get steeped in this controversy. It's just I don't think YouTube's not really addressing the real problem. They're just trying to appease the advertisers so that things will go back to normal, you know. That's all there really is to it. You worry about your own channel? Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it, you know. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like I said, it's just going to be a temporary thing. I mean, is your channel even big enough? Is it big enough to monetize? I'm not sure. I really haven't been paying attention. Let me see here. I mean, if your channel... Yeah, you have 15 subscribers. Well, I don't know what you mean. Like, it says your channel doesn't have content. 10K. Wait, you have 10,000 subscribers? Oh, okay, well then do you have... What's the name of your channel? Maybe, because I know you do podcasts with Lance and whatnot, but, yeah. So anyways, I want to get back into the Google topic for a bit. So, you know, like I said, the 129 for the Founders Pack, you know, that is what it is. You know, it's not like an unfair price, but it is a price you have to pay if you want to take early advantage of the Stadia. Otherwise, you'll have to wait. You know, Google's already said that, you know, those people are going to get first access to it, which technically wasn't the case because I did get to beta test the Assassin's Creed Odyssey thing for Project Stream. So I actually already got a chance to play the service in, I would assume, or at least hope it's a worse capacity than it will be at launch. So, and it worked out pretty good. Yeah, Dark Titan Enterprises. That's right. I remember that now. I don't know if I subbed to your channel or not. I guess, I'll check that out. Oh yeah. I've got enough DNA, so I probably should move on. But I'm just trying to take it easy and just extract some DNA while I'm BSing here. Fry up some farmers here. They're easy targets. Shotgun fodder. Okay. But, hold on one second. Dark Titan Enterprises. Okay. I'll have to type it in here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Alright, I got it now. Although, I didn't think that you were a girl with long red hair. I guess you just work on this channel or something? Or are you just part of it? I don't know. But anyways, I subscribed. My wife records the videos, I write them. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, so anyways, yeah, as far as that... okay. When it comes to other complaints that people have about Stadia, that's fine. People want to talk about they're going to have infrastructure problems. That is a fair complaint. People want to talk about that the service may not work overall for the majority of people. That's a fair complaint too. I'm not talking about this stuff. It's these misinformation campaigns that are very intentional about these people talking about the pricing and whatnot. Like, oh, so spending no money on hardware, spending no more in terms of a subscription service than you do on anywhere else, and spending no more on a la carte games than you do anywhere else is too expensive. You know, like, I mean, people talk about, well, you know, I guess because you don't own the physical game. Well, downloadable games on Steam already cost the same amount of money as a physical PS4 game. So, are Steam games overpriced? You know, like, do they charge too much for games on Steam? I never heard that complaint before. Even though they charge the same. Yeah, Steam does have sales, but that's usually after a little while, you know. It's not right away that they do that. Shoot, I forget what the complaint was. Or not complaint, but the objective. Mission goals. When you're ready to return to the mothership for your next mission. I'm already... Oh, the mothership? Okay. Yeah, maybe this is the mothership. My ship's all messed up, though. I need to fix it up. No, that's the thing. You're subscribing to that misinformation campaign. So, if you watch the actual Stadia live stream, which if you haven't, go ahead and check it out again. They said explicitly that if you just want to buy games, you could just buy games. The Stadia Pro thing is completely different. Now, if you want 4K streaming, like if you want to actually stream your games on 4K, yes, you do have to buy the subscription then. But just to use the service, no, you do not have to buy a subscription at all. So, and plus, I mean, if we're going to subscribe to that misinformation, if you want to play any games online on PlayStation, you know, if we want to add in, you know, like, if you want to play any games online on PlayStation, you have to buy PlayStation Plus. Now, that's not true, technically. There are some games you can play online on PlayStation 4 that don't require a subscription, but that's essentially the tactics that there's. I'm using the exact same tactics as far as that. You know, I'm just using the exact same tactics that these YouTubers are using with that. The free basic plan is not till next year. That's right. That's because initially it's just going to be the founders. I'm not wrong, okay? I respectfully... It's not like a thing where I respectfully disagree because you're actually wrong. You're welcome to not like the service for other reasons. You're welcome to disagree with various things that are more subjective. But when it's objective and you're flat out wrong, I'm going to call you out on it. So, accept it or leave it. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole reason why I did this live stream, is because there's a lot of people that bitch about that. Okay, it's not free till next year, like you said. Gotcha. But the next-gen consoles don't come out next year either, unless Microsoft pulls out a surprise, oh, we're launching the new Xbox this year. You know, unless they do that, Stadia will be technically the first next-gen console of the gate, because it will have the ability to scale up on the specs. You know, that is one of the advantages of having a cloud-based service. Okay. But, anyways, that's besides the point, as far as that. Like I said, people want to talk about the other things that potentially are wrong with it, that's fine. You know, that's not what this conversation's about, though. It's just about, like, dispelling all the stupid YouTubers that have the big channels with tons of subscribers that want to spread these misinformation campaigns. And then they have the gall to call out gaming journalists. Which, you know, yeah, they screw up a lot, too. They really do, you know. I have no problem calling out sites like IGN and Polygon and Kotaku and so on whenever they screw up, because they do. They do. But it is just kind of funny that these YouTubers act like that, you know, they're the shepherds of information, and they're just as bad, if not worse, than those sites as far as misinformation.
Crypto, you don't have authorization to... You have returned to the invasion site.
So, but anyways, as far as, oh, I forgot my train of thought was there. This game is a little cryptic sometimes with the way you play it, because I don't even know where my freaking spaceship is right now. So you agree with the CNET hit piece? I haven't actually read the CNET hit piece, so I can't say I agree or disagree with it. But I do agree that YouTubers, in some cases, do regularly make shit up and make sensationalist pieces. The thing is, CNET does too. So, you know, neither side is right on that. But if CNET wants to call out when those YouTubers make the sensationalist pieces and they can back it up with evidence, then credit where due, is what I've got to say about that. But it does not exonerate their sins either, you know. How do I repair my ship? I forget how to do that. Because my ship is, like, basically destroyed right now. For all these little huts and whatnot. hold on. It said there was a new comment, but I can't see it. It didn't pop up. I'm gonna refresh my stream real quick and see if I can get it. What is up, Cyrus? So, Cyrus, I want to know what you think about pricing of systems, because, like, you know, you can get an Xbox One X for $500.
Crypto,
It's a system that's going to be obsolete in about a year or so.
Return to the mission area at once.
And, if you want to play online games, you have to spend
You have returned to the invasion site.
You have to spend $60 a year to play online games if you want to play Xbox Gold. And then, $10 a month for the Game Pass service. So either that or $10 a month for the Stadia Pro, and then your system won't be obsolete. Tell me which one's more expensive, which one's more fairly priced. Now, that being said, yeah, the Xbox you can play offline technically, it's not stuck if you run out of internet access or whatever. But, if you get power outage, both systems are useless in that case.
You have returned to the invasion site.
So that's another thing too, like, it literally would take you 4 years
You have returned to the
and
invasion
2 months
site.
if you were to somehow have a payment plan of only $10 a month for your Xbox One X to equal the same cost for the Stadia Pro subscription over that same period of time. And then, like I said, ideally it would scale up, So streaming has its disadvantages. I'm not disputing that. But cost is not the disadvantage it has. That's actually an advantage it's got. Because these companies can use... It's basically like a timeshare console. Let's put it that way. It's like a timeshare console. You're going to be sharing this hardware with other users, but not everybody's online at the same time. Everybody has different schedules and whatnot. So these companies can use this hardware, and then, you queue up for the server or whatever. Ideally, you won't have to queue at all. You would just launch right in. There should be hopefully enough there. But, yeah. How angry the meta, yeah. Yeah, and exactly, Grim. Outrage is the big thing on YouTube, and that's the thing, those sites contribute to that outrage as well. They obviously will post sensational things to get more clicks, so they get more ad impressions, so they get more money. So it works in all cases, that's just the nature of media in general. It's not even a YouTube thing or even a website thing. The news does it too. Why do you always hear news stories about people getting killed and shootings and things like that? Which, yeah, they happen a lot, but there's a lot of feel-good news stories. Like, you just browse on Facebook and you see all these feel-good news stories. That's like the only places you see that is stuff like Facebook. And even then, it doesn't always come up. It comes up occasionally in your feed, along with all the other bullshit that you see. So, you don't see that stuff in the news unless it's just like a fantastic story that they think everybody's going to tune into. So yeah, Return to the Mothership. Totally forgot about that. Yeah, if you have bandwidth, don't care about owning games on Stadia, might be a good option for some. Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing. Like, I had OnLive. I'm a bit sour about what happened with the whole OnLive thing. But at the end of the day, I'm able to look past that to some degree. Like, obviously when it comes to Stadia, I'm going to be a little more reserved with it at first. Because OnLive, it was a brand new technology, and I got into the whole enamored thing about, the new technology, right?
I see a horde of humans over here, congregating at some sort of holy ground. Here's the plan. I want you to enter the fair.
I don't think Google is too soon.
Back to your ship for
it will be a while before they are, like, top dog, if they're ever top dog. Because it might not even be Google that will be the mainstream streaming platform. It could be Microsoft or Sony or even someone else, like Apple or Amazon or someone like that, could possibly be the ones to pull it off. To make it, like, mainstream to where it will really hit the mass market in a heavy way, It's tough to say, really, but... Can't lift this car. But, yeah, it will eventually happen. But at the same time, I don't think physical games, at least, will go away right away. I think there will still be some access to that stuff. It'll just be niche. It'll be basically the vinyl of video games, is to buy a physical game. And because of that, it's going to be very specific stuff. Like, you're not even going to be funny enough, you're gonna be playing physical games on PC, not on console, because PC is the only platform that will really allow for this super niche kind of thing. You know, I guess you could have like a niche Kickstarter console or something like that, but I mean that would be even more niche. You know, that's like having like a freaking proprietary vinyl player. Like it's like somebody making Betamax movies. That's what that'll be like. But yeah, this will happen. I've got the
What
the
we
man
need
here.
is the dumbest, weakest-willed, most malleable human we can find. Admittedly, the competition will be fierce. You just have to scan them all.
Alright, let's go ahead and shock him up. Do some DNA here. And are you stupid? Yeah, probably just one of these. I gotta scan with people in the pink here.
Yeah. Town's doing great. Business is booming. Hope is on the way. Yada, yada, yada. Let's barrel through this puppy so I can get down to the real business of governing. Making time with the delicious Miss Rockwell.
This human seems to be onto something. We'll wonders level 6. Keep scanning.
Only thing, like, limited run, that's tough to say, you know, because, like, everybody, a lot of people say the doom and gloom is that, you know, streaming's going to be the mass market thing in 5 years. I really don't think it'll be 5 years. I'd say 10 to 15
Scan some more human
is
minds,
probably
Crypto.
the biggest range. Okay.
All right, Crypto. I have analyzed all the thoughts you've collected, and I think I've isolated the perfect subject for you two.
Probe and vaporize?
No. Abduct and bring back to the mothership.
My way's more fun.
So, I think streaming will first take off in Japan, if anywhere. And the reason being is, one, Japan has the infrastructure. Two, they're very mobile populace. You know, like, the fact that the Nintendo Switch is outsold the PlayStation 4. Nintendo Switch outsold the PlayStation 4 in Japan. Like, period. Not talking about just, like, week-to-week sales. I'm talking about, like, total sales. And it hasn't even been out that long.
Come on, boys. My biological clock's ticking like a time bomb. Work with
That's
me here,
hypnotizing.
people. I want to thank all the little people.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and escort her out. You know, Japan also has the internet infrastructure, too. You know, they have the speeds to where it should be, like, few, if any, issues. They already have, like, all the streaming stuff, like the Resident Evil 7 on the Switch and whatnot. And, of course, YouTubers, some of them have been checking it out and complaining about the quality of the service, but they're streaming from America, and they're not, those games aren't intended to be streamed from that distance, so of course the quality's gonna suck. And like I said, it just kind of adds to the sensationalism, so they are using the service in an unintended way, and then that gives them, like, the credence to badmouth it. Even though the reason why they get to badmouth it is because they're using it wrongly in the first place. So, go figure on that, right? Oh, crap. Oh, shoot, that's a freaking tank. Okay, let's get out of here. Alright, let's just get out of here.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Yeah.
La 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 la. And lots of wavy hair like this.
Yeah, so as far as, like, internet infrastructure is concerned,
This sure doesn't
assuming there's
look
not any,
a
like,
pie-eating contest.
problems with 5G internet implementation, like if things take off as smoothly as they do, and they have a mass market penetration of more than 90% of the country within 5 years, like they're claiming, which probably won't happen. You know, I'm sure there'll be a delay of some kind, but let's assume that happens. That would mean that
So responsive.
98% of Americans would have access to 100 plus megabit per second internet, regardless of where they live. And that's on the low end. You know, like the service would be theoretically able for gigabit plus, but not everybody's going to have access to that high of a speed. But 100 megabits of high-speed 5G internet as a dedicated connection is definitely going to be more than enough to handle 4K streaming of Stadia. So that's not going to be a problem there. It's just a matter of getting to that point, you know, because like I said, not everybody has access to that kind of stuff at the moment. So Google isn't too soon. OnLive was too soon. OnLive was trying to do this stuff when a lot of places were still, like, stuck on DSL, you know? Like 3 megabit DSL. You know, big cities in some cases. That's not really the case so much anymore. Like, I live in a small town. It's got about 3,000 or so people. I've got a 400 megabit internet connection. And my town isn't exactly the most technologically advanced town. So, most people would have access to 100 megabit internet as long as they were willing to pay the cost. You know, obviously, I pay a little more for my internet because I like having fast internet, you know. I could get the AT&T internet, which is about half the price, but it's also about 1/20th of the speed, so that's why I don't do that. You know, like if it was half the price, half the speed, we'll be making an argument then. Maybe I'll suffer a 200 megabit connection to save a lot of money, you know. But I'm not going to be spending that same money for a 10 megabit connection. That's not happening. That's barely enough to handle Netflix or Hulu on one screen. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another problem too. The whole Huawei ban. There's a Huawei ban coming up that's going to really screw 5G implementation up. It's not. It's going to delay it, and it's also going to make it cost more because Huawei, they have done a really good job with. Let's see. Am I supposed to go back to the destroy the fair? Okay. I thought I pretty much did that. What else is there to destroy? Oh, okay. Apparently I got to destroy this stupid pole thing. Okay. Oh, Beast Lucas, I hope you know that no one is watching. Oh, okay, yeah, well, you were watching, so I guess you're no one. Okay. Yeah. Gotta love those hecklers that come in, you know, and they think they got me. They think, oh, I got you, man. Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching. Well, you're here to tell me nobody's watching, so clearly at least one person is watching. You know, in the absence of actual attention and vacuum, you know, like, yeah. Verizon, but yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you know what I mean, though. Like, Huawei is, like, one of the big companies. Like, it's Huawei, Motorola, Ericsson. Those are, like, some of the big infrastructure companies for, like, cellular internet. You know, Verizon and AT&T, they have their stuff, of course, but they still get a lot of equipment from those companies, too, you know, like, they don't make that much equipment of their own. So, let's see what the next goal is. Whoops. So I destroyed the fair. When you're ready, okay, yeah, we're done. Okay, so, but yeah, I guess we'll wrap this stream up. Yeah, Ericsson, Sony bought years ago. Well, yeah, you know what I mean, though. They're part of it. You know, let's go ahead and show that comment. Apparently, YouTube tried to censor your comment there, Sai, saying dumbasses, you know. I don't have, like, a comment filter on my thing at all. It just does that. You know, I guess it's because when the channel's monetized, I'm like, oh, you can't have people saying bad words. You know, can't do that. Even though I can technically freely say that as long as I don't say it to a crazy amount and my stream's still monetized, but it won't let the people in the chat say it, so...
Something for your gun?
Go figure.
Or a brain implant? Alright, you sold me. The upgrade is yours.
Alright. Got it. So researching, okay. So we've got a
So what would you like
there.
to upgrade, you little ball of
Yeah, shut up. Okay. Let's see, archives. That just going back, B-movie theater. For Anagami, something required. E3 2004 trailer. Let's watch it. Why not? Let's see how they did trailers back in 2004. Look at that resolution. That was their high quality bitrate stream that they had. Looks like a Sega CD video.
They have abducted one of our own. Now, you must face off against a hostile race. Use your weapons. Use your mind against the most feared enemy in the galaxy. Mankind.
I like how they have a voiceover that sounds like Rod Serling, or, well, I don't think it was actually Rod Serling. There's no way it could have been, right?
Intelligence.
I would think not. Considering Twilight Zone was early 60s. Yeah, it wasn't him, not even remotely. He died in 75. But they did get a guy that sounded a lot like him, so that's cool. Yeah. That's what I figured, you know. Because I think he died, I think, if I remember right, that was around the time the Twilight Zone movie came out. Was in the 70s, so he died either before or after that happened.
One giant step on mankind.
But yeah. So, yeah, as far as the Stadia thing, it'll be tough to say, you know, like, I mean, nobody can really predict the future of gaming. You know, a lot of things have happened in gaming over the past 10 years that people didn't anticipate would happen. In the 10 years before that, you know, like, people in 2005 probably didn't think the Wii was going to be a thing. You know, that wasn't even, like, something that registered in their head until, you know, Nintendo did that E3 where they shut off the Wii. And like, you know, like, oh, that's the future, even though it was obviously using rudimentary tech, but they did it in a way that it seemed futuristic and cool to people, you know. And that's really the trick with any of this kind of new technology, is they just got to sell it right. Google's done not really a very good job about it, but, you know, they're just getting their feet wet in the industry. It'll take some time, you know, and, you know, it's a completely new way to play games. And you have to think, for some people it'll be great, you know, especially casual gamers. Casual gamers don't want to spend $300, $500, $600 on a game system, or $1,000 or more potentially on a gaming computer to play video games. You know, most of the time they'll just play on their phones, and you've seen the quality of games you get on cell phones, not the best. But that's what they'll make do with, because that's what's available. Plus, those games tend to respect their time a bit more, because you don't have to sink in 60 hours to beat one of those games, because you just play for like 10 minutes at a time or whatever. But something like Stadia, you know, where you're just buying a $10 a month subscription and or buying games a la carte, that's a little bit easier pill to swallow for those kinds of people. You know, yeah, the only phone is the Pixel 3, but that's because they're limiting it at launch. They will eventually add more, you know. That's just a Google thing, you know. Google's just trying to be like, hey, if you're really excited for this one, play on your phone, you gotta buy a Google phone so we can sell more phones. You know, it's not really a big selling tactic, but that's something that they're doing, like a temporary forced exclusivity that, you know, that's not Google's style. They're just only temporarily doing that. And then, of course, they also said something about you have to have Chromecast Ultra. You don't have to have Chromecast Ultra, technically. But if you want the 4K, obviously you do. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of BS about that a little bit and kind of hang with you guys. Play a little bit of this game, which hasn't aged the best, you know. But it's fun to kind of mess around with, you know. I'm really looking forward to the new remake that they're going to make. I think that'd be really cool. So hopefully they do a really good job with that. Yeah, the Chromecast for the TV. I mean, I guess theoretically, if you had a Pixel, you might even be able to hook that up to a TV if you have a USB-C to HDMI. I'm not sure if they're going to have some kind of weird thing where you can't do that, but I guess that would be an option too. It's weird because they said you can use any tablet, any Android tablet. So I don't know why the restriction specifically on the Pixel for the phones, but yeah. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this conversation. A lot of it me rambling and just saying stupid crap. So I'm sorry about earlier, Grim. I wasn't, wasn't trying to attack you or anything like that. I was just, I was just pointing out, like as far as subjective things, we're free to debate on that, but I wanted to set the record straight on things that were not debatable because they're fact, So I apologize if I phrased it incorrectly or anything like that. So, but anyways, thank you guys very much for tuning in, and until then, down Phoenix out. Thanks, Sai. I appreciate that.